Hello and welcome to another edition of Cinder's Playground. I am, of course, your host Cinder, and it is once again tier list time. And I am doing a frontman tier list. So this is going to be from bands past, present, and my humble opinion about them and where they rank in the annals of music history. Uh, Before we get started, let me know if you guys would want to see a female um front person tier list. uh because I know there are a lot of badass women in the metal scene, but I will put the work in if you guys are interested in seeing that. Also, I probably should say how I'm grading these guys. Grading them, of course, voice, uh stage presence slash charisma, songwriting ability, and look. So all that in consideration. Um, so I don't want to make this too terribly long. And one other thing, I just want to say that yes, I think I have like 16 guys here. I know I probably could do a 50 metal frontman tier list, but I didn't want to make it too long. And I know there's going to be some omissions. Like, I mean, I don't have Tobias, I don't have Manson, uh, Randy Blythe, and I can keep listing names that I don't have on here. But if this gets a good response, I might do a part two. So definitely let me know who you think who should have been on here. And like I said, if enough people chime in, I'll do a part two. But without further ado, we're gonna get into it. First, we have the late Chester Binghamton. Um, I mean, he's S tier. I mean, between the music and uh the way he connects with the crowd and the the performances he delivers, man, and the voice is amazing. So Chester is S tier. Next, we have Ozzy, which some might call the GOAT. Um, First metal band, Black Sabbath in history. Uh, I'm gonna put him in A because he is good, but the voice isn't top notch in my opinion. But I do love me some Ozzy, you know. I probably like more Ozzy stuff than I do Black Sabbath stuff. As weird as that is, but but Ozzy's, yeah, to go. Next, we have another legend, Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. Now, I mean, he's going S tier. He's going S tier. Robert is, some might say part of the greatest rock band in the world in history, Led Zeppelin, and the voice is phenomenal, and he is a tremendous front man. And I love the look and the way he moves on stage from videos I've seen. He's just, and some might say, a class all by himself. So Robert Plant gets an S tier. Next, I have Glenn Danzig, who probably was one of the first, like, I'm going to say dark bands I got into was Danzig. And then later on, I'll find out he was part of the Misfits, but no, I love Glenn. His voice, his look, his presence, and like I said, I think Glenn is talented enough that he can sing any kind of music, man. That voice is just borderline godlike. Uh yeah, and I'm a fan of his, even though the Danzig stuff in the last few years aren't really my cup of tea, but those first 5 albums, bro, you know, those are classics in my humble opinion. So yeah, Glenn is going S tier for me. Glenn is going S tier for me. All right. Next, I have the infamous Corey Taylor, Slipknot and Stone Sour, and of course Corey Taylor's own band. I love Corey. uh, you know, I know concerning Slipknot, it's a collaborative effort in the songwriting process and everything like that. But I know some songs he totally wrote on his own. I mean, Snuff is a perfect example of that, and I think he's very talented songwriter, musician, and especially when I see clips of him in Slipknot shows, he's just um, he gets the crowd involved and he's very interactive with them, and he really just like he puts it all out there, man. Like I said, so Corey gets an S, man. Corey gets an S. Let's see. Next, another, some might say the GOAT, that is Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses. Axel is, yeah. He's amazing, bro. I love that voice. I don't think it's as good as my S tier people, but his look, especially in the Use Your Illusion era, the look, the presence, and the passion he has on stage, man, it's something to see. I'm gonna put him A. I'm gonna put him A. His voice is good, just like Ozzy's, but I don't think it's top notch. Um, Next, got one of my favorites, and that is Zach De La Rocca from Rage Against the Machine. Now, not the best voice, but I do like it, and I think his screams are very guttural and gut wrenching, which I like. From heavier stuff. And I know Red Rage is a political man in a lot of their shows. From what I've seen, he likes to put messages in there, in between songs and stuff like that, which is fine. That's their gimmick. That's what they do. That's what they believe in. That's fine. You know, um, but he does have a bit of charisma. I'm gonna say he's charismatic as my S tier people, but he's he's a good front man. Like I like him. Again, think he's talented, and I know, like I said, their music is a collaborative effort between everybody as well. But Zach, I am gonna put. He's definitely a lyricist, and I love just the way he flows. In his rapping and stuff like that. Um, Thinking here. I'm gonna put him B. Like I said, not the best voice, but I love the delivery, and I love the message. So that's what he's going to be. Next, we have the late Chris Cornell, who, God, I love Soundgarden, bro. Like I said, they're awesome. Not my favorite of the big four from Seattle, but tremendous songwriter, tremendous songwriter. And just, I don't say his stage presence isn't like oomph or impactful as some of the other guys on this list that I've listed so far, but I mean, you can tell he puts his soul, heart, and effort into performances and songwriting, and uh, I just, yeah, I think he's one of the greats in my opinion. Gonna put him. I'm gonna be just because I think his voice is okay, but the songwriting really is, I think, his most valuable attribute for sure. Next, we have Maynard James Keenan from Tool. Um, he has a very unique voice, and obviously his performances are legendary. You know, especially in the early days of Tool. So there's that, and you know the yeah, I think he's an S tier person. S tier front man, in my opinion. Like I said, the theatrics, the voice, and you know the just the package in itself, man. I mean, Tool as a band are very unique, and I love them a lot. Oh, next I have Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who is I think has one of the best voice in music. Period. His voice is outstanding to this day. Um, and he's another one who really gets the crowd involved and loves doing what he does, man. Anthony is just for voice alone, he's S tier for me. You know, everything else is just icing on the cake for me with him. So Anthony's going to S tier. If I can get him over there. For God's sakes, get in there. Really? This is what we're doing? All right. Next, I got Brent Smith from Shinedown, who's another guy with another phenomenal voice. Uh, I think he's just one of the best guys doing it today. You know, and yeah, and I can tell he is a lover of music from his side projects, you know, to the Shinedown stuff. Man, like I said, he's passionate about music, and like I said, he lets it all out there. And I think his voice is tremendous. One of my favorite vocalists, you know. Um, S tier. S tier. S tier for me. Next, we have James Hetfield of Metallica. Now, he doesn't have the prettiest voice, but I know he's a big contributor to Metallica's sound and lyrical writings. Uh, so for that, I'm gonna put him A tier because Metallica is one of the goats for metal, you know. But that voice is just, you know, I like it, but it's not top tier in my opinion. Next, I have Mike Patton from Faith No More. Tremendous voice, tremendous. His voice is he's probably the first that's he's probably the first guy who I really paid attention to how good they are vocally and how their range goes. You know, when you go from like when you go from epic for him rapping into the singing, you know, and you go to something slow like, you know, Woodpeckers from Mars, you know. I don't know if that's the right song. Correct me in the comments if I know. But it's the last song on the Epic album. Um yeah, he's talented in all of his voice, man, and his stage presence is, you know, up there. You know, he's really energetic and just a great front man, in my opinion. So Mike is S tier for me. Next I have the late Uh Lane Staley, excuse me. From Alice in Change. Like I said, my favorite out of the big Seattle Four. Um his voice is magical in my opinion. Uh and I know him and Jerry collaborated on a lot of songs together, but I know he wrote some songs solo. But man, he's he's phenomenal. He's another phenomenal vocalist, and just a shame that we lost him, you know, so early. Uh, One of the greats, in my opinion. You know, like I said, his vocal style, the way, just his voice is very unique sounding, and I like that. And it's very powerful, I'd say, for sure. And between him and Jerry's riffs, it's just a magic made in heaven, in my opinion. So Lane is S tier. Uh, I know you're probably saying, "Why is everybody going to be S tier?" Well, not everybody's S tier, but here. And I have Jonathan Davis next of Korn, who voice isn't very. It's it's okay. It's not great, but it's very unique sounding, and it definitely I think is one of the unique voices in metal today. But I think his biggest strength is his songwriting. Um, so many songs that I can relate to, and just feel for him, man. But he's another very great live stage performer. And that also gets some points with me. So I think Jonathan will go A tier for me. All right. Last but not least, I have Chino from Deftones, who, again, another unique voice in the realm of metal. And uh, from what I've seen, for stage performances goes, he's okay. I don't think he brings it. But then again, this is just what I've been seeing. But I do love the voice, and I do know he writes a lot of the stuff for the Deftones, like that. And they're a very unique sounding band, in my opinion, and I just love that about him. And like I said, I mean, this is a band I was hooked from the first song I heard them, which was from the debut album Adrenaline, which is Bored, which I still rock to this day. I love that song, man. From the opening riff, to the closing where he's screaming, it's one of my favorite Deftones songs, if not my favorite Deftones song. Um and yeah, he's another one, the range from singing to screaming. Like I said, I think he pulls it off well. I think he sings better than he screams, but still, the fact that he does it, I can appreciate that, and I give him credit for that. So I'm gonna put Chino in A tier for me, and there you have it. That is Cinder's Frontman metal tier list. Like I said, I know I've missed a bunch of people, but like I said, if this gets good reaction or good views or good views, I'll definitely do a part two for sure. Um, but let me know in the comments. Anybody in A or B do you think should be in S tier? And tell me, who is your favorite metal frontman? um and you know and I mean, just a real side note, I mean, I would never make a whole video of this, but if I had to do a Mount Rushmore my metals singers, it'd probably be Ozzy, definitely. Robert Plant. I'm gonna say Chester, believe it or not. And I'm gonna say Corey. All right. Then I say this today, but if you ask me this question tomorrow, the answer probably would change. But that's my Mount Rushmore. Um, but yeah, let me know in the comments your favorite metal frontman, and also if you want to elaborate, tell me why you like him so much. Um, but yeah, so gonna close this out. Hitting the 20-minute mark, so it's probably one of the shortest videos I've done recently, so you're welcome for that. But as I close it out, oh wait, before I close it out though, like I said, if you want to get in contact with me, you can get me on Instagram at Cinder666. Post about updates about the YouTube channel here, Cinder's Playground, and geek news and just cool shit I find on the internet. So get in touch with me over there. And if this is your first time here, thank you for checking out my video, and please consider subscribing. Um, like I said, we're over that 100 mark, and like I said, hopefully, I like to get 150 by the end of the year. So we'll see if we can get there. I'm kind of in the midst of working and trying to get more promotion out there for the channel, and you know, another thing too is that, like, not to go off on a rant or side tangent, but like I said, I do this for fun. Like I said, I'm not looking to get the YouTube plaque or get a million subscribers or anything like that. No, but when I look at the sub count and the analytics and all that garbage, it kind of makes me feel like I'm not doing it for nothing, because, like, one, I don't get a lot of returns, people coming back to the channel, and it's kind of demoralizing a little bit, but like I said, I'm not doing it for that, but still it feels a little demoralizing, and kind of have to beat myself up mentally to get up and do this every week, because sometimes I really don't feel like doing it, because I think this year I missed 2 weeks without putting an episode up, just because I wasn't feeling it, for one reason or another, so I will have bouts and days like that. um but when somebody gives me a like, comments, or just subs to the channel, man, they, believe it or not, makes my day, and makes me feel like I'm not doing this for nothing, even though I said that's not the goal. Like I said, I'm just doing this as a creative outlet for me, and also for me to focus on something, so I'm not thinking about the hell or horror show that is my life. So thank you, everybody who's subbed to the channel and who's commented and liked all my videos. You have no idea how much that means to me. You guys are awesome, and I hope to get better as time goes on doing this. So without further ado, close it out. So the bottom left, there is a video recommendation, so you can check that out, and on the bottom right it should be the sub channel button. So if you're new here, like I said before, please consider subscribing here. It means a hell of a lot, and it doesn't cost you anything. So until next time, I am Cinder, and I will talk to you guys later.